If you want success to become the byproduct of everything that you do, that your behaviors automatically produce success, then these are the 3 Ds that you need to implement in a daily basis to help you get there. Let's go. The average person wakes up and is really reactive in their day. They take the experiences and the things that they had from yesterday or even last week, and they bring them with them into today. They go through the motions carrying this anger or frustration because of all the things that happened to them, and they become reactive. Well, when your brain is wired to repeat 90 to 95% of the thoughts that you have in a day, of course, we're living a life where we don't feel like we're being successful. So how do we change this? It all comes down to the 3 Ds. So the first D is to define success. Yes, we all know that we want success. We want to be able to live the life like what we see other people doing. But do you actually know what success looks like for you in this situation? Right here in this moment, all the things that you're working towards, do you know what success looks like? Do you know what it feels like? Have you taken the time to define that success? There are times, I'm sure you have experienced, where what you want to have happen ends up looking very differently than what actually happens. And there's a reason for that. We think things all the time. You have a lot of thoughts going through your head, but what is it that you believe about that? What does it you believe that you deserve or that you are capable of doing? Because beliefs are the gateway to your subconscious. So if you are thinking and hoping one thing and receiving something totally different, then you have a discrepancy in your belief. It means that you haven't defined what it is that you want more than just a thought level. This is what I want and this is what it looks like. That's very analytical. We need to get deeper into the emotion of it. What does the success feel like? What's the emotion behind that? Do you know what the outside is going to look like? Yeah, we know what we want to feel, but have you defined what it looks like on the outside? You need to know all those different layers to alter the definition of a success on a belief level, which is going to require a lot more than I want to make $1 million, or I want to have a nice house, or I want to get that car. You need to understand, when I receive that, what does my life look like and how do I feel? How do I interact with things because I've reached that level of success? The second D is to direct your attention. Now, we all know that what you want to have is focus. You want to be able to focus in the right areas, that you need to focus on the job at hand and do all of these things. But what tends to happen is we focus on where we have been. We look at the past and we look at the clients that you've helped. You've looked at the launches that you've had. You look at the marketing funnels that you've run. You look at the things that you've been able to accomplish in the past. And that is where we focus, because we want to learn from those lessons. We want to take the things that we are doing and trying to do them better. And that all comes down to focus. But when we are looking at how do we create success, it's actually not about focus. It's about bringing in an attention. Where your attention goes, the energy will flow. And so are you directing that attention? The reality is everything is vying for your attention right now. You can't drive down the road or turn on your phone without something trying to grab your attention. Your attention is the most valuable resource that you have right now. And you have to know how to direct that attention in a way that's going to lead you to this success that you just defined. So we're going to do that through the third D, which is to determine your actions. We all know that to reach where you want to go, you can't be the same as what you are now. You have to become something new if you want to achieve something different than what you have. But changing your behaviors is one of the hardest things to do because we have so many subconscious programs running behind the scenes that we end up being these habitual creatures doing the same thing over and over again. If you truly want to create a change, to have a breakthrough in that cycle, you need to bring in the neuroscience behind all of this. So we are going to do that through a very simple activity. When you know how to boost the chemicals in your brain, it increases your ability to learn. It increases the motivation and your performance in everything that you do. So we're going to start this with a simple activity that is already a habit in your day, something that you do all of the time. For me, it's taking a shower. That is something that I do every day, regardless of where I am or what happens. For you, it could be drinking a cup of coffee. It could be going for a walk outside. It can be anything that is already a habit, something that you do without question. Then the one piece that we're going to add here before we stack on all the other things that we want to do is to take a 2-minute high intensity activity. This is going to boost the proteins in your brain. When you do an intentional activity like this, it is going to boost the protein that is created in your brain. Shortened, this protein is a BDNF. This is like the personal trainer in your brain. When you increase this protein, it puts you into a place where you are better able to create connections, to learn things, so it increases the neuroplasticity in your brain. This is something that really only takes 2 minutes. It's an activity like maybe a high intense exercise for only 2 minutes. Maybe it is something like learning a new strategy, learning something new. So you dive into a book, dive into reading something that is going to stretch your learning muscle. Or it can also be a calming activity, something that will relieve the stress. Taking 2 minutes in your day to increase this protein is going to make a massive difference in your behaviors because it creates the optimal position for your brain to be able to take on something new, to accept a new reality. Take 2 minutes to add in a new activity that is going to help you be able to reach these goals. Once you have fertilized your brain, so to speak, now you're going to go back and review step 1. How did you define success? Where is it that you're going? What you wrote down in that step 1 is not your current reality. It's not what's happening right now, which is why it's something that you're working towards. So now that we have fertilized your brain with this proteins and adding in these new activities that set you up for success, we're going to direct your attention to where it is that you want to go. Once you know where that destination is and where it is that you want to go, now we're going to make a plan. If you can implement that behavior, that new thing that you need to do within the first 10 seconds of deciding that that's what I'm going to do, your chances of success will increase exponentially because your brain doesn't have time to come up with the excuses or the reasons of why this isn't going to work. The more you implement, the faster you move, the more success you're going to achieve. But I know that that's not always possible, especially if this is something that you're adding into a morning routine. You don't have time right then to jump into everything. So say, I'm going to do this at this time and make that commitment to yourself. When you can implement these 3 Ds on a regular basis, that's what begins to rewire your brain into creating a new outcome. If you found this information helpful and you want to know more, you're going to want to join the free community link down in the description. This is a place where we go through and we work through all of the subconscious beliefs that are keeping you from reaching that level of success that you know is possible.